Shabbat shalom. Shabbat shalom. I thank you for that wonderful welcoming and appreciate it. My heart is racing and hadn't done this in such a long time until I was like, okay, it's a good idea when you think of it. But when it gets to that day, it's just one gone sour. So today the song was awesome. I love that last song so much. And I want to talk about, we all know what Yeshua's kingdom looked like. But today I want to talk about what your kingdom looks like. What does your kingdom look like? Paul said, well, Yeshua I know, but who are you? So we want to talk about your kingdom today and how we can make our kingdom a little bit, more like his. Because if it's not like his, then we really don't have a kingdom. So I started out with this teaching. I was doing great, really good, had it all down 2 weeks ago. Went back and started looking at it. The Father said, throw all that out. Throw it all away. So I had to start from scratch. And it takes me a long time to just even think of something, less talking about write something down. But let's look at the kingdom, what our kingdom should look like, because we should base our lives exactly like his, not missing anything, but exactly like his. A word to the wise, my granddaughter Olivia. You get what you get, so don't throw a fit. Sounds okay, I'm going to use that. I don't know where that came from, but I'm going to take it. It sounds good to me. So Revelations 22:1 says, and he showed me a pure river of water, of life, clear and crystal, proceeding out of the throne of God and of the Lamb. Let's look at 3 words here. Number 1 is going to be pure. Number 2 is going to be throne. And number 3 is going to be lamb. The first word is pure. And I'm not going to say all these numbers, guys, because I will get totally messed up. And it is kahathros, and it's in the Greek. And it means clear, pure, free from corrupt desires, from sin, free from every admixture of what is false, meaning not true or correct, calling good evil and evil good. Job 17:9, the righteous also shall hold on his way, and he that has clean hand shall be stronger and stronger. So our kingdom should be getting stronger and stronger. So what's the hindrance for that? In Genesis 30:24, and she called the name, went a little bit too far. The word for clean here is tahor in the Hebrew, and the word for shall be is yasaf, and it means to add, to increase, do again. In Genesis 30:24, and she called his name Joseph and said, the Lord shall add to me another. Talking about Joseph's mother. The word shall be and shall add is yasaf, is from the word Joseph, and he that has clean hands shall be like Joseph. Stronger and stronger. We are the Joseph generation, so we should be getting stronger and stronger, but that's not the case. The words stronger and stronger are not the words we are accustomed to hearing. In Hebrew, the word is hazak, to be strong, to grow strong and prevail. Joshua 1:6 says, be strong and of good courage, for unto this people shall thou divide the inheritance of the land, which I swear unto thy fathers to give them. So we were promised a land, But in order to get this land, something has to happen for us to become stronger and stronger. Stronger and stronger, and of a good courage is omitz, and it's from amitz, and it means to be alert, to be brave, to be bold, solid, to be determined. We should be determined to get our inheritance, but we've been so misjointed where we don't even think inheritance. We don't think about that because it's not our everyday lifestyle. So to be alert and to be brave, alertness of the feet, to be strong in the feet, swift-footed. How did Joseph become stronger and stronger? By being removed from a war zone. One father, 3 mothers, 11 brothers, 1 sister, a war zone. So he had to be removed from that war zone and put someplace else. So somebody say, we need to move. We need to move. Okay. Psalms 18:33. He makes my feet like deer's feet, able to stand firm and tread safely on path of testing and problems. Deers are always alert and can move at a blink of an eye. They are always on their guard. Now back to the word for pure, tahar. Joseph becomes bright because he could now hear God clearly and being able to do what God said and put it into action now. So it's one thing to be able to hear God in a place, but it's another thing to be in a position to put things into action. And so he had to remove Joseph. It's hard to be removed from what you are accustomed to, but a move in his case was necessary so that he can do what God wanted him to do. So sometimes a move is not bad. Yes. 2 Kings 5 is about Naaman the leper. It says he was a great and mighty hero. Oh, sorry about that. It says he was a great man and a hero. Honorable, sorry. He was a mighty man of valor, but he had leprosy. Now there was a little maiden from Israel whom Naaman had captured, and she waited on his wife. And she said to her mistress that there was a prophet in Samaria, and he would recover him from his leprosy. So the word Samaria is to keep. And shamar, which I hear it all the time, to keep, to guard, but I never put it with Samaria. So if you think about the Good Samaritan, that's them who kept Shabbat and commandments. The maiden said there was a prophet who guards and protects Shabbat, the covenant, the commandment, and vows. Pastor David says that there is nothing greater than a vow, yet this maid was not allowed to keep them. So she was like putting it in his face, okay, he's the one who's going to heal you, but you're not allowing me to do this. So she was kind of slapping him in the face a little bit. So Naaman came with his horses and with his chariot. The Bible says, some believes in chariots and horses, but I will trust in the Lord. Are not chariots and horses in the bottom of the sea? 2 Kings 5:10 says, and Elisha sent a messenger unto him, saying, go and wash in the Jordan 7 times, and thy flesh shall come again unto thee, and thou shalt be clean. Tahir. 2 Kings 5:11 says, but Naaman was wroth and went away. The Hebrew word akuf, means the back of the head. The head is the last part you see when you walk away. So he walked away after he got the answer to his problem. He just walked away. Talk to the head. I ain't going to say nothing else. I'm out of here. Which was a slap in God's face. 2 Kings 5. Okay. Wroth, kasaf. It means to be displeased, to be angry, to provoke Yahweh to anger. 2 Kings 5:12 says, are not Abana and Parpar, rivers of Damascus, better than all the waters of Israel? May I not wash in them and be clean? So he turned and went away in a rage. He was upset twice. He walked away. A word to the wise. You get what you get, so don't throw a fit. Rage is himah, and it means the cup of wrath of Yahweh. Twice he's going to receive the wrath of Yahweh. Why was Yahweh angry with him? Yahweh was angry with Naaman because he was making fun of the wave offering, the noof, to move back and forth. He thought Elijah should have come out and waved his hands over him, and he would have been healed. Okay, let me get my eyes together here. Naaman said that the river of Damascus was better than all the waters of Israel. That belongs to Yahweh. So that really made him mad, made Yahweh mad. Naaman was angry twice. The third 3 means completeness. If he would have got mad one more time, he would have got smoked. He'd have been in the smoking section. Naaman, his name means pleasantness, but he really didn't sound too pleasant. Even after he had an answer, he still wasn't pleasant. The value of his name is 210, the same value as Mount Horeb, another name for Mount Sinai. Mount Sinai is where the 10 Commandments was given. 220 is also the value of the phrase al-payach, according to your mouth. So according to his mouth is what he was going to get. And he was not pleased. He was angry. Naaman's heart's desire is to go wash in the river of Abana and Parpar of Damascus. He also believed in the natural and not the spiritual, things that he can put his hands on. If he couldn't put his hands on it, he didn't believe it. Pastor Brittany says, what happens in the natural happens in the spiritual. So he kept himself in the natural. He didn't believe in the spiritual. A whole generation died in the wilderness because of unbelief. Abana is eben, meaning a stone. There are 10 tablets of stone. Parpar, it's from para, meaning to divide, to frustrate, the breaking of a covenant. So these 2 rivers is what he wanted to go wash in. One was the commandments, and the other one is to break the covenant. I'm just going to go over here and wash in these 2 rivers, and they're going to make me clean. And the rivers was in Damascus. Pastor David said that this is the seat of the Nephilim. Another slap in God's face. He's just really I'm going to give it to you. Now Elijah tells him to go and wash in the Jordan River. Elijah's name means God is salvation. Hey, God is salvation. He will deliver you. Just do what I say. Judah, well, the Jordan is Jordan, the most famous river in Israel, meaning the one going down, for it becomes the lowest river on earth. And it's from Yarad to go down to descend. It depicts the falling or coming down of the pride of a man. Naaman was prideful. That was his problem. He was prideful. So leprosy is not just an evil tongue. It also has to do with being prideful. Your words you can begin to change, but being prideful, that's hard to change. We can see why John the Baptist was baptizing people in the Jordan River. So we're going to look at pure again. To be clean, to make clean, to be bright, is kindred to the word zahar. And zahar means to teach, to warn, to shine. Ezekiel used this verb more than any other Old Testament writer to warn the wicked and the righteous about their sins. Oh, I have to use these glasses. My eyes is like gone. Don't want to ruin my eyes. So Ezekiel 3:17 says, Son of man, I have made thee a watchman unto the house of Israel. Therefore, hear the words at my mouth and give them warning for me. Warning is zahar. Revelation 22:1 says, And he showed me a pure river of water of living, of life, clear and crystal, proceeded out of the throne of God and of the Lamb. So we're going to look at the throne. So we're going to talk about what our throne should look like and what it shouldn't look like. The word throne is theros, and it's in the Greek. A throne, a seat for kingly power or royalty. A throne in the Hebrew is kisei. I love that word. And it is a place of honor. It can mean a kingdom. Kisei is connected to the word kos, which refers to a cup or goblet. In Psalms 23:5, Thou prepared a table before me in the presence of my enemy. Thou anointed my head with oil. My cup runneth over. My head is Rosh, my beginning. My head is my beginning. My cup is Kosi, my throne, my kingdom. He anointed my head at the beginning of my kingdom. So whatever you put in your cup is what your kingdom is going to look like. Whether it's spiritually or naturally, that's what it's going to look like. And then he says, it goes on to say, it runneth over. It's revayah, abundantly, a state of overflowing of the cup of life and blessing from the Lord, of richness. So my cup should be running over. So whatever I'm going to put in my cup is going to reflect my kingdom. And not only that, it's going to reflect my generations after that. Revayah is two words, Rev and Yah. And Rev means a form, an appearance. In Daniel 3:25, he answered and said, Lo, I see 4 men loose walking in the midst of the fire, and they have no hurt. And the form Rev, that's the word, of the fourth is like the Son of Man. Now I've looked at this verse 100, this whole thing. I love this, Psalm 23, and I never saw this before until I started looking at this teaching. The word Yah is God, and it's a short form of Yahweh. My cup should look like the Son of Yahweh running over with blessings, with the blessings of Yahweh, for he is my joy. So you can see now Yeshua is actually in Psalm 21, because Psalm 23, sorry. I went and I looked, I said, there's no et in here anywhere. But he is there. Now let's look at another word for cup. Cup is sephel. And it means a bowl, a dish, a small container for milk or water. It's from Soph, and it means a threshold, a doorway, an entrance to a house, a building, or a temple. The doorkeeper. The doorkeeper, the keeper of the door, was an important person. In our generation, we think of a cup as being a coffee cup, a coffee mug, a tea cup, not a threshold or throne or a kingdom or a doorkeeper. But your cup is symbolic of your throne and your kingdom. Joseph's cup will either free you or make you a slave. Remember, he put it in his brother's sack. So they had a choice. They could be free or they can be a slave. It's the way they reacted to the situation. Coffee, which I never thought it would be in the word. I just thought it was one that they made up. But I never thought it would be in the Bible at all. Coffee is kafeh in Hebrew, and it means to condense or congeal something. It means frozen, making something frozen. So when you put coffee in a cup, just think about it. Your cup becomes frozen. It's no longer running over, it's frozen. The kuf hey means something is something is being revealed to the back of the head. So this is your back of your head, and the hey is saying, I'm trying to reveal something to you. Pay attention here. I am trying to tell you something. And then it's also attached to the olive. So when it's attached to the olive, it's saying Yahweh is trying to reveal something to you. Yahweh is speaking to the back of your head. So that's what the word coffee represents. When you put it together and you make a picture out of it, because the Hebrew language is pictures, it looks like a picture. So when you put it together, coffee is Yahweh talking to the back of your head. Not to your face, he's talking to the back of your head. And are you listening? Okay. It's related to kafah, and it to become settled or stagnant. It refers to something standing still or slowing down in movement, becoming thick. Stagnant water will begin to stink. And coffee flowing down, it slows down your spirit. It's more than just in your cup. Now we're dealing with our spirit because it affects your spirit. Ezekiel 15:8, and with the blast of the nostril the waters were gathered together, the flood stood upright and as a heap, and the depth was congealed in the heart of the sea. So that's the word coffee. Congeal is kafeh, slowing down in movement, becoming thick. Kafah also speaks of a person in great suffering, being curdled, tossed about like hardening cream. Job 10:10 says, "Hast thou not poured me out as milk and curdled me like cheese?" Coffee relates to great suffering, suffering of the body, like Job. Job suffered in his body. Kafar also depicts a dead or stagnant spirit in a person. Zephaniah 1:12 says, "And it shall come to pass at that time that I will search Jerusalem with a candle and punish the men that are settled on their leaves, that say in their heart, the Lord will not do good, neither will he do evil. The Lord will see, and he will not speak." Or if he does speak, he's just going to talk to the back of my head. The word settle here is kafah. It means to draw up the feet, to set with the feet drawn up. In Genesis 49:33 it says, "And when Jacob had made an end of commanding his sons, he gathered up his feet into the bed and yielded up the ghost and was gathered unto his people." He became dead. That's the word kafah, a kafe. On their leaves is shemer, and it's from shamar, to guard or to keep watch, keep the Shabbat. So sorry I missed something when I read Zephaniah the first time. Zephaniah 1:12 the first time. So let's look at it again. In Zephaniah 1:12 it says, "And it shall come to pass at that time, I will search Jerusalem with a candle." He's serious about this. You're going to search something with a candle. He's going to look in every hole there is. And he's going to punish the men that settle on their leaves. And that's where it just... And I looked at it and I said, this is all about coffee. This is about cafe. And a candle, with the candle, is near. And punish is pakad, meaning to attend, meaning to be present at, to visit. So he's coming not to sit down and drink a cup of coffee at the coffee house. He's going to come check you out and see what you're doing, because the coffee house is really not what you think they should be or what they are. He's going to not just come for the unrighteous, but he's going to come for the righteous too. This is what the verse says in Hebrew, "And it shall come to pass at that time, I will search the olive tower, Jerusalem, with candles, to come and visit or punish pakad, the men that are settled, kafah, congealed, drinking coffee, on their watch, on their guard at the doorposts." Interesting history on coffee houses. In 1453, the Turks was the first people to actually make a drink out of coffee beans, and the world's first coffee shop. Did y'all get that? Let me read it again. In 1453, the Turks. See, when I heard that, it didn't mean anything to me. I read it, and I read it again, It meant absolutely nothing to me. In 1453, the Turks were the first people to actually make a drink out of the coffee beans, and the world's first coffee shop. Zena, unbeknown to her, said Turkey was Esau. It clicked. Turkey is Esau. And I was like, she was shocked. Well, I was looking at her like, I can't believe you just said that. Where did that come from? Pastor John had said to be careful if someone gives you something to drink. He said that Tuesday. Was it Tuesday night or Wednesday night? And I was like, oh my goodness. You be careful who you drinking from. It could be an Esau. Coffee houses has a history connected to black slavery, and I'm pretty sure it has a history connected to a lot of things. Interesting, because Esau was known as a man of the field, a hunter of men. Teddy Roosevelt himself is counted among Americans' great coffee drinkers. It was said he drank a gallon of coffee a day. Roosevelt is also said to have coined Maxwell House's famous "good to the last drop" slogan. A gallon of coffee a day? No brain movement there. By the end of the 18th century, coffee had become one of the world's most popular export crops. After crude oil, coffee is the most sought commodity in the world. And guess what? Esau started it all. The word coffee has roots in several languages. In Yemen, it earns the name kafar, which was originally a romantic term for wine. Ooh. I know what you're thinking. I want a case of that. Somebody said, give me two. Kava wine or coffee. It's in the Red Dictionary. You can look it up. It's wine or coffee. Our Hebrew professor told us that there's a Hebrew saying, when the wine starts to flow, the secret comes out. John just said wine should be joiced. So when you have a cup of wine or a glass of wine, you should be able to sit back and enjoy that wine. But we have a problem here because it's been mixed with coffee. So now we think we're drinking coffee and we're actually drinking wine every day. And it wouldn't be so bad if we just had one cup. But now we have these 18 liters. So you drink that and you get up in the morning, you have to have a cup. By 12 o'clock, you got to have a cup. By 1 o'clock, you got to have a cup. Then you become an alcoholic. It's just that simple. And I did not want to do this. I'm not a coffee drinker. I have no idea why I was even thinking about coffee. Could these coffee connection be pointed toward one unable to be entrusted to guard the secrets of the kingdom? The best part of waking up is Folgers in your cup. Your cup is your kingdom. Can Yahweh trust you with the secrets if wine and coffee are the same thing? It's also important to note coffee depletes you of your iron. Iron carries oxygen to the brain and throughout the body. Iron also helps with infections. So if you have an infection, iron is there to fight that infection off. Dr. Sabi says we've been detached from iron for 500 years. That's why there's so many people with anemia. And coffee, iron, has so many more benefits. It's good for your hair. It's good for your skin. If you got saggy skin, it's good for that. It's all, he says it's a magnet, so it draws all the minerals to every part of your body. So when you're depleted or deficient in iron, then you're losing everything. And you cannot get iron. I'm not a doctor, so don't say I'm a doctor. You cannot get iron over the counter. You have to get iron with the herbs, the burdock, the bladderwrack, the sea moss. You have to get iron through those. You can't get it anywhere else. You can't get it from the pharmacy or making the iron. You cannot get it. Back to Revelation 22:1. And the word lamb, for lamb, proceeded out of the throne of God and of the Lamb. Mark 5:22 says, and behold, there cometh one of the rulers of the synagogue, Jairus by name, and when he saw him, he fell at his feet. Jairus is strong number 2383, and it means whom God enlightens. So pay attention here. He's going to give us a little hint on what we need for these upcoming days. Enlighten means to impart knowledge, to give spiritual light, to instruct. It's from Yair, and means he enlightens. It's from or, which means light. His name is connected to Numbers 32:39. And the children of Maher, the son of Manasseh, went to Gilead and took it and dispossessed the Amorites which were in it. They took the land, they took the gateway, because the Amorites was a gateway, so they took one of the gateway. They took the gateway from the Amorites. Number 32:41 says, and Jairus, the son of Manasseh, went and took the small town thereof and called the name Hava Yair. Now that's gonna, when you hear Hava, what did you think about? Manasseh was the firstborn of Joseph. The Amorites, who were also part of the Nephilim stronghold. The reason Abraham was told his descendants had to wait to fully possess their inheritance. Manasseh's children should be talked about more, but they are not. It's always Ephraim. Now I can see why, because just for a time as this that he was chosen. Also note Gilead, the healing balm of Gilead, Jeremiah 8:22. Is there no balm in Gilead? Is there no physician there? Why then is not the health of the daughters of my people recovered? Havot Year. His name gets me every time. It means a village of Yair. That J and Y. Okay. It's certain villages on the east of Jordan in Gilead or Bashan, which was taken by Yair, the son of Manasseh, and called after his name because he had no children. So it gives you the how many acres, 60 or 23 or 30 cities in total. It's from Hava, which means Eve, the first woman, as being the mother of all living. Why is that so important? Because we live in a land that's become known as the mother of the dead. Birth certificates. Havot Yair, the mother of all living, the land of the living. Could this be the land of Yahweh? Yair, he enlightened son of Manasseh, causing to pay a debt or forget a debt or something. Jair was from the tribe of Judah, praise, and his grandmother was a daughter of Mahir, sold. His name is sold. Jair is from Makar, meaning to sell, being sold as a slave. The selling of the right of the firstborn by Esau, he sold his rights as firstborn. I believe Jacob took the firstborn right of Manasseh when he placed his right hand on Ephraim and left hand on Manasseh. But because it had been for to hide, but could it have been to hide and protect the birthright? And now Jair is claiming it back, making a claim to it, the right of the firstborn. So he's taking something back that his grandfather had taken from him. And now his Manasseh's son is rising up. He was the firstborn, so he's rising up and he's taking that position back again. These names tell us we have been given knowledge that our debts are paid off. Praise him. You who were sold, your inheritance is being restored. Judah and Joseph can live together in the land of the living. Havot Yair. Back to the lamb connection. Mark 5:41, and he took the damsel by the hand and said unto her, Talita Kumi, which is being interpreted, Dazzle, I say unto you, arise. Talita, in the Greek, it means dazzle, maid. It's from Talei, which is in the Hebrew now, lamb, a young lamb. And it's from Tali, my lamb. So he said, arise, my lamb. And that just melts my heart every time I see it, Tali, when I hear it. Tali, arise, my lamb. Kumi is kum, and in the Hebrew it's also kum. It means to rise, to get up from a sleep, set up a kingdom. So this is important here. We read the story and we think, oh, he's just telling her to get up. You've been dead. Now it's time to get up. But no, he's telling her it's a purpose for you getting up. You've been dead. It's time for you to get up. Now Luke tells the same story, Luke 8:42, for he had one only daughter, about 12 years of age, and she lay dying, but as he went, the people thronged him. 12 is the age that a Jewish girl has her bat mitzvah. Bat mitzvah means daughter of the covenant. According to Jewish custom, this means that she is considered old enough to have certain rights and responsibilities. So she dies, and she's dying before her time to shine. Okay, she's dying, and she hasn't had her bat mitzvah when now it's time for her to start doing something, to participate in the kingdom. And Luke 8:52, calm down. And all wept and bewailed her, but he said, weep not, she is not dead, but sleepeth. And they laughed him to scorn, knowing that she was dead. And he put them all out and told her, and took her by the hand and called, saying, Maid, arise. And this don't mean nothing to you until you really focus on this story. And they laughed. In Genesis 21, it says, and the child grew and was weaned, and Abraham made a great feast the same day that Isaac was weaned, and Sarah saw the son of Hagar, the Egyptian, which she had borne unto Abraham, mocking. The word mark means to laugh,
And Isaac, his name also means to laugh. And the word wean is gamal, and it means to bring an end to something. So when he started laughing, he brought an end to something. Abraham sent Hagar and Ishmael away. So when he started laughing, he put an end to his own self being in the house. When you read Genesis 21, Ishmael's name is not written even once. It's as if he was already gone. Yahweh hears. That's what his name means. Ishmael, Yahweh hears. So when he started laughing, he was gone. He was out of the house right then. It's funny because if you want to quit drinking coffee, you too will have to be weaned yourself off. Symbolic of being separate from Esau. Interesting because Esau had never been put out of the house like Ishmael. Esau's still in the house. Luke 8:54 says, and he put them all out. Ishmael's generation, God will hear. The ones who are the generation that laughs concerning the promise. Maiden means a girl or a maid or slave or a servant. It means to strike or wound with a sting as a serpent, to strike with the fist. So these stories are telling you that this maiden was abused. She had been beaten, just like our generation, what we have. We have been beaten, we have been stolen. And the word serpents means evil leaders. So, your scorpions bite evil. Thank you, babe. And the word arise is not talking about arise from your sleep. It's talking about to recover the dead to life, cause to be born, collecting of one's faculties, his thoughts, and his emotions. So he's saying, rise up, collect your thoughts, get them all back in order, get your emotions under control. Interesting, though, because faculty can also mean all of the members of a learned profession, a body of teachers, one of the departments of learning, medicine, or laws, of buying and selling of all kinds of business. So he was telling her, arise. It's time to start working for the kingdom. Get up. Gather up all the people who are learned, all the people you know that can teach, all the people that you can put in a position around you to help build the kingdom. It's not about, you're dead, just get up. No, your time has come for you to get up now and do something. The Messiah is not only raising up the young girl, but it's going beyond that. This becomes symbolic of his kingdom, his throne, his cup being restored with the water that brings life and healing. For his people to take their rightful place, no longer asleep or hindered, slowing down, but one able to take claim of their born right on the land of the living, not among the dead. Isaiah 66:8 says, who has heard such a thing? Who has seen such a thing? Shall the earth be made or brought forth in one day, or shall a nation be born at once. Shabbat shalom.
Wow. I don't know if you guys really listened to everything Brenda said. Do you know that was a prophetic word? I'm going to prove it to you. I'm going to prove it to you. Can I just bring something? She was chosen to bring a prophetic word. You know, you hear me jumping up and down up here, Pastor Dave and Brittany doing her thing, and today Abba spoke a word through Brenda in such a manner that it was delivered in a way there's no way you could have missed anything she said. You that are watching, we have to listen to when the Spirit of Abba is speaking, and I want to just witness to this word that this was a prophetic word, and I'm going to prove it to you. I just want to read a verse. Thank you first. Let's give Mama Brenda a hand. This was a timely word, and I want to prove it, to just back it up. I want to read a verse if I can. And I'll read it from there's all kinds of translations. I'm going to read a translation that captures the Hebrew of what Brenda was sharing, and it's from a translation called God's Word. I'm going to make Jerusalem, and this is from Zechariah 12:2. I'm going to make Jerusalem like a cup of wine, or a cup of trembling, or a cup of drunkenness, that makes all the surrounding people stagger. They will attack Judah along with Jerusalem. Now I want to read this that came to me while Brenda was speaking. America became the cup of coffee. Sounds funny, but this is a warning. That sold themselves into slavery under the crown. The natives from the line of Shem tried to fight against this. If you read your history, they tried to come against this that came from the east, from across the Atlantic Ocean onto this land. America accepted the covenant cup of the east, while the Semitic natives went to battle over to try to stop these things. Jerusalem has become the cup of wine today. America has become the cup of coffee. Both cups have joined together into one cup, one covenant. We see the pushing to this today. This is a prophetic word. Brenda said, your cup is your throne. Machir is where we get, etymologically, America from. America, Machir. America is related to this word. We are seeing the results in our day of two cups that have mixed together from the east, where Esau comes in, and where Nimrod is. And it has become one cup that will reveal the anti-Messiah. We heard a prophetic word with what sounded funny when she mentioned coffee and wine, but it was prophetic. The wine of drunkenness has been poured out to reveal the secrets of this country that have brought about bondage to the people of the Most High. This was a prophetic word of two different cups coming together to not only bring about what would seem like a drunkenness, but to expose what the enemy has been doing in our season. Why do you think there's such a strong promotion to the state of Israel being in agreement with the drunkenness of this country and this what we're looking at today? We are seeing this unfold right before our eyes. The two cups have mixed. You cannot undo liquids like that. You cannot undo the wine mixed with the coffee. What a powerful word. It has become a united covenant throne that is about to reveal someone, I believe, in our time coming very soon now. We are living in prophetic times. If you haven't got the notes to this, I have the notes. I haven't even looked at them. I'm going to go through this. We've been given a very prophetic word. We're either going to be of the land of the living or we're going to be of the land of the dead. We are given a choice. I think Abba has drawn a line in the sand. And whatever's in your cup, whatever you're accepting in your cup, is exactly what is the force and power behind your throne. What a powerful word, Brenda. Power.